Okie dokie.
Hughes just said that his controls have stopped working, so he's had to change the log in to leave the chat.
I saw he left it.
Well, Wagwado Focarinos, thank you very much for tuning in today. We've got a brand new series underway. We have the HHTCR Season 1, Round 1 here at Tokyo Expressway, the South Outer Loop. And today I'm joined by a very special co-host, commentator who has been the co-commentator for, and you're going to have to help me here, Andrew, the sim racing...
Car, sim and race driver show. We've been trying to get him to change it for years. We wanted him to call it something that had my name in it. Sorry, I wanted him to change it to something with my name in it, and apparently that's not on because it's his show. But apart from that, he's been doing a show for 3 years now on YouTube, which focuses on racing, real racing, driving, and he's a big sim fan. And then in the past, year, over more than a year, it's been very much concentrating on the sim racing side of things, and most people know about it. It's actually called the Car Sim and Race Drivers Show with Hugh Hadrick.
Sim and Race Drivers Show. And if I'm right in saying so, he has some pretty special guests on there then?
He's had a few, yes. We've had the likes of David Perel, Josh Alexander.
Nice. Yeah.
We had, I've forgotten his name. I want to call him Lightning McQueen, but it's Mikhail, the 4 times world. I tend to be very funny and very, very humorous person. At least I think so. It's a 4-time Gran Turismo Sport World Champion. We've had, who was the Paliero, the lovely Italian lad who's also very quick. Didn't he win a World Championship recently?
It begins with an M, is it? I know who you mean, I just can't remember. He interviewed
I
him.
wanted him to say, he's Italian, and he had the right voice to say, Peter, stop. I wanted him to say, Peter, stop. But he wouldn't, Hugh wouldn't ask him because he was being miserable and old, even though he was young. So, I blame Hugh Hadrick for everything, especially my bad looks.
Well, we've got 6 cars on track. Are we waiting for a few more to join?
Are we meant to have 10? Was it 10 we were going to have?
7. There's going to be 7.
A little voice in my ear. It's like being on telly where the guy sticks his finger in his ear.
Yes, it's probably worth letting the audience know that we do have a magical fairy, Richie.
We can call him the director.
Yes, the magical fairy director.
Or would he be the producer?
Hello.
There he is. So he's going to update us on any comms for any information, such as...
If we get anything wrong, he'll...
yeah, we're going to get sacked.
Well, I don't think so, because obviously we bet that he is. You know, we're the talent. He's just, back office, isn't it? Oh, I love being able to kill me. Only a little bit evil, Give me a break. So, yeah.
I'm just sorting out my social media, so I might just be a little bit quiet for a minute or two.
If you go quiet, I can say nonsense in your telling people what they need to know. At the moment, I'm following Mikey around the track, who's number 1 in a Scirocco, Group 4 Scirocco. He's currently the fastest on the track. He's done a 1:40.550, which is a lot faster than me. Seriously, quite a lot faster than me. I had to go on this track yesterday in our little test lobby and was... Well, I won't use the word I'm thinking, but it means really bad.
Well, it looks like
make your own word up to mean really bad in whatever language you're listening in.
Well, Mikey is making his way down into the heaviest braking section here at Tokyo Express, and it looks like we've got 3 drivers in the pits that is about to pass. So we've got Moomin, Daiko in the 66 Volkswagen, and of course Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
makes you go faster, helps you slip by with KFC grease and the, I can't remember how many spices, secret ingredient to increase your own special success ballast.
Well, eyes are on number... it doesn't tell you the number of the cars either, does it? Although, if I press F12, it still doesn't tell me the number. 45. Now I can just see the side of the car. So we've got number 45 Guinness liveried Volkswagen.
That is... it's number 0 on the thing. It just stops.
I know, yeah.
And that's GLR Mikey. As you've mentioned, the livery, I'd like to point out that I think everyone's got a special livery for this race.
Yes.
And it all looks excellent. They all look really, really good.
Well, here we go. It looks like the race is beginning for the HHTCR Season 1 Round 1. Over there we've got Mikey in the front, followed by Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Daiko in P3, Moomin in P4, Cars in P5, and Falconer in P6 route.
It's going to be close. I mean, all of these they're all clean races, apart from Hat-Trick when he does his dive down the inside. You know, he's doing a honey badger impression. But he's still. I mean, they're all clean and fair races. So I'm expecting a clean race. Excellent getaway by Mikey there. Really, really good, and a pretty good getaway by whoever's in. Oh, Diakabub, my German friend. Excellent.
That's it. Well, the green lights have got. We've got Kentucky Fried Chicken on the inside line in P2. We've got Daiko side by side with Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken, and P4 is that Mr. Cars. Just jump on board. P4 is we've got Cars in P4. Everyone is still very much in with the run in here. Who's going to take the dive bomb? We've got Moomin looking to take the inside line. What's going to happen here as they exit the chicane?
Can I just ask you, are you getting your feed from the YouTube feed or straight from the PlayStation thing?
Straight from PlayStation, yeah. A little bit of a delay to YouTube, so...
That's what I was thinking, because it's just checking we're on the same page here, because me and you have had this in the past where we were looking at things on different sources, and sometimes I saw things before he did and vice versa. It's all funny, it's good for comedy, but not great for commentary.
This is it, and it looks like Hugh, we're fighting 4th position now, next to Moomin. And Daiko holding on for P2 as they enter the bridge section as we go back down, declining into the absolutely awful chicane. Let's see whether they can survive.
Hat-Trick slipped back to 6th briefly, and now he's back up to 5th. He's having his usual. I mean, there's plenty of laps. There's plenty of laps for him to make up his time. But his usual modus operandi is make up a few places in the first few corners, crash into someone, and then sort himself out, and then he doesn't make it. It's what he does. It's normal.
Well, Cars is in P2.
Let's have a look. I will just split through.
He's fought his way through that pack.
Yeah. Cars is 2nd, yes, you're absolutely right. Superb.
Oh, he's been issued with a half a second penalty. Has the position 2 Peugeot RCZ from Cars there. So that's going to mean that he's probably going to lose 2-3 positions, if not 4, as they enter the final chicane past the very strange pits. Side by side, they're going to go 3 wide through here under the tunnel.
They are. That's superb. But no, nothing. Oh, there's a bit of love kissing there. A little bit of a
love tap. Yeah.
Love tap. That's the word. I'm giving you BTCC terminology. Love tap.
So it's put him in last position, Rue, having to serve that half a second penalty. It looks like he might go side by side with Moomin as they come up towards the bridge.
He's going to take that because he's got the inside line. Oh, that was very brave by Moomin there. Very brave. And they're still side by side. This is superb. Now, Diakabub's in 2nd, but he's got a 1.3 second penalty that he's going to have to serve. So he may end up at the back because they're so close.
A little bit of contact between the back runners as well, but Moomin has conceded that position to the 26 Peugeot. And who have we got in P1? Just as I said, we're going to have to watch this guy, the number 45 Volkswagen in the GLR logo, showing love to his racing team. And what have we got? We've got a lap time of a 1:41, so he's very close to the 1:39s. I want to be seeing 1:39s really. We've got P2. Now Hugh Hattrick has taken P2 from Dyko in P3. 25 minutes left to go. He's running a lap time of a 1:41.7, and finally jumping on board with Dyko in the podium position P3. We've got a lap time of a 1:43.3, but he is right in the tail end of Hugh Hattrick, Roo.
Yes, there's only, what, 0.3 of a second behind, according to my screen. There is a bigger gap from Mikey in the front back to Hugh than is separating the next 5 cars, which is amazing. Think about it. It's very close racing, apart from Mikey, who's just got Guinness power and he's off.
He's gone, absolutely. And it looks like Dyko is probably going to want to make a move here.
Well, he's just got himself another 1.1 second penalty, so I don't know what he's doing. He's obviously decided his towel was on this racetrack and he wants it back. That's what happened.
And not only is Mikey rocking the group for Volkswagen Sirocco, not only is he leading, not only was he the one to watch in this split of the HHTCR Series, he's also currently rocking the fastest lap.
He's actually decreased his time. He's gone faster. He was on, as you said, a 140.177. He's just done a 140.147. And it's only small margins, but that's very consistent. Very consistent.
Yes, and 8 seconds, just over 8 seconds is P3, who is obviously hunting down the KFC connoisseur as they come up to, again, the heaviest braking section on the 100-meter board. Can he clip the apex? He needs to get it in. He's a little bit wide there, late apex, but nevertheless, he's still in the slipstream.
Kept his speed. I think he's very well there. See, I'd just like to, boast mildly that I predicted what he was doing very well. First lap, terrible. Well, half a lap, mad. Half a lap, bad. And 400 laps, brilliant. So, obviously if he was racing Teo, he would have slid off by now.
He's going defensive against the 66 Volkswagen. He's now gone side by side as they make their way up the bridge section of Tokyo. He's got that position on Hugh, but Hugh's got to switch back.
Brilliant.
And
very good.
the German driver is got a 0.8 of a second penalty to serve. Hugh Hattrick gone into the wall. He's going to concede that position to Cars.
And he's got, because he cut the corner and he's got a concurrent penalty as well. I was watching him yesterday when he was going over those corners. Oh no, he hasn't got a penalty. I thought he did. I do apologise. It must have been a car behind him. But he's lost a few places there because those curbs are vicious in that chicane.
Absolutely.
And if you hit him just right, you can gain a bit of time. If you hit him wrong, you're flying to the air, and that's what he did. And he bashed into the concrete barriers that are there. So now he's got to do all that work again. It's a pity, really, as David Coulthard always says, that he's fighting someone that had a 8.9 second penalty. It would have been better to let him pass, stay with him, and let the penalty take him back behind, so he didn't have to worry about him again. But
yes.
So says someone that would currently be doing times of 2 minutes 17 seconds and waving at everyone as they flew past. So what can I say?
Well, with 22 minutes left to go, Mikey has well and truly left the pack. We've got Mr. Falconer in P6, but only 14 seconds behind the very quick Mikey, and you can still see the rear tail lights of the RCZ of Moomin, who looks like he's fighting for P4 against Hugh, but ran wide. He's gone into the wall. We're going to just jump on board with Hugh Hattrick and see how he traverses his way through the chicane, all drivers fighting for control.
So just, you probably know, is a technical question for you. Is there tyre wear on in this race? Or is
I'm going to assume so, but we need the magical fairy to tell us this.
There is no
Magical
tyre
fairy.
wear. There is no fuel. No tyre, no fuel.
Thank you, Mr.
It's
Magical
like the perfect
Fairy.
car. I could own a car like that never needs fuel and never needs tyres. That would be
It
fantastic.
would be
That'd
ideal, absolutely. So Mike
still
has
want it to be
increased his fastest lap time and is now gone to a 1:40.1. So he's very... I want to be seeing 1:39s though, I'm going to be honest. I want to be seeing 1:39s from anyone. They were hitting that in practice, so they should most certainly be capable of hitting that in their race pace, as the 45 Volkswagen of the legend GLR Mikey makes his way under the bridge.
The legend in his own lap time. Well, I mean, as
Legend.
the magical fuel that doesn't disappear reduces and the weight isn't going to reduces too, obviously he'll get faster and faster. He'll just get into it and just do a great job. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Well, it looks as though he's got the lines perfect here. He's just entered and exited the bridge and now the chicane. He's not touched the sausages. He's chucking the car in. You can see the suspension working hard. He's really chucking that car in, but it's very stable, so it's no surprise that you can't even see P2 now on the camera shots.
It's something like nearly 11 seconds gap. So, right, let's pretend he's Lewis Hamilton and we can ignore him now.
If
It
you
is
could
11
just continue commentating, Rue. I've got some comments saying I'm not reading chat, so if you want to, I'm just going to read chat. If you can commentate for a little minute.
That's fine. Sorry, chat. I can see you. JJ, stop whinging. Behave yourself. So we're so into the race, and this is the first time, and we are obviously brilliant. Obviously, Matt's more brilliant than I am. But you know, stop whinging. You carry on. You dealt with it.
Well,
you type those.
The first comment is, Rue, the Albanian state washing machine company is faster than you.
Now that's going to be. Is that going to be? Let's see. Who's saying that? I'm thinking it's probably going to be somebody from Dublin, but it might not be. Stephen Scott. Could it be Stephen Scott?
Hey, I heard that.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. What?
P3 also has an interval of a 1.3 to P2, so realistically, we've got a battle for P2, for P2, 3 and 4, P4 being Hugh Hatrick, who was also responsible for that comment, but we've also got
I've just
Whiskey
seen it.
File.
I kill him. I kill him dead.
Whiskey File, who I'm assuming that's GLR JD, he's got his money on GLR Mikey, and given that he is most certainly rocking P1 as he's crossing the start-finish line, it looks like he's got his money in the right place. Any penalty costly on this track? Mikey in a class of his own, love of McGuinness. Who is hosting Split 1?
That's been answered. No worries at all.
Legend, thank you. Are you in the YouTube?
I am in YouTube. I've got my computer screen here, and I'm using my telly for watching the stream. They'll stream the race. So yes, we have them both. It's just I wasn't multitasking well. I've just answered a comment by Mr. Scotty, Stephen Scott. Where's Jess? Why isn't Jess laughing at what I'm saying? This is traditional. Jess is meant to be laughing at what I say and weeing herself or something similar. Anyway, back to the racing. Let's see what we've got. So we've got Mikey's 13 seconds ahead now, so we'll leave him for a minute. And second, we've got Jakubub, who's doing a great job considering he's got another half-second penalty, but he's still pulling away or keeping a gap.
Yes, he's now hitting a 140.037, so we're closing towards the 139.
I haven't got the live timing. I can see the live timing if I click that button. Excellent, look at this. Do you get the lap chart? Now that's an interesting bunch of colours in the first few laps. We'll ignore that. way too complicated. Yeah, getting some pretty good times there actually.
Yes, Mr. Carr's currently in podium position in P3, is running a lap time of a 1:41.5, so he's a second and a half off the pace, which looks similar to everyone else, off the pace to Mikey, that is, at Tokyo Express.
Yes, he's just done a 1:41.245, so he's improved slightly. Mr. Hattrick is quicker than him on his last lap at 1:40.997, but that's still almost a second slower than Mikey. That's almost as slow as a nuclear-powered washing machine would be. Not that I'm upset.
Yes, I'm being told in chat by Jack Balding, Racing 25, that you can, so you know we mentioned earlier, the left side it's only saying the car names, you can change that to people names, so we're all learning. I'm just waiting for him to tell me how.
Come on JJ, you're 13, you're genetically, technically savvy, sort yourself out and tell us, no good hiding it.
We've got a .086 for the battle for P2. Daiko going side by side with cars now. Up to over the bridge. Daiko going on the inside. He's got that. There's a little bit of a love tap. He's got the line as they come up towards the most horrible chicane here at Tokyo Express. What's going to happen as they enter and now exit? The 66 Volkswagen has taken P2 away from cars, now putting him back into P3, and Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken is hunting the P3 of cars.
Yes, he's got a 0.3 second penalty though, which won't help, but there is, I mean, Cars was unlucky there because he had the outside line going into the chicane. Diakabub was able to take the correct line, and he had no choice. There would have been a steward's inquiry and tears and threats of legal action from Red Bull.
That's it. I'm sure the lawyers will be getting involved. It looks like the rear end of the KFC Kentucky Fried Chicken mobile has had a few bumps and scrapes.
We're hoping the KFC will grease and overtake. That's what we're hoping is going to happen for Mr. Hattrick here.
He's got a better apex. Can he get the run? He's well and truly in the slipstream of P3. So with, how long have we got left? We've got just over 13 minutes left to go of race 1. We're in lap 10, and we've got Mikey now entering the bridge section and up towards the chicane of Tokyo Express. He's gapping them to now 16, nearly 17 seconds.
I'd like to point out, because we haven't mentioned him, and he's a lovely fella, that Moomin Papa, in his Peugeot, why was Peugeot? That is extremely pink. That's what I would call hot pink. Other people might disagree with me. He's in fifth position at the moment. But that's the kind of pink that only Mr. Scott could love, because his rig is made out of that colour or something very similar. Personally, I think I don't know how we can drive that way, because I would be blinded with radiation from that colour. But, you know, he's letting his inner Elton John on stage in fancy gear out with the delivery of that car, and it looks fantastic. And he's keeping up with that middle group. He's doing an excellent job. You know, they're all sort of line astern, more within a sort of second of each other, and doing a great job, all of them. Oh, Hattrick's just gone. What's Hattrick just done there? He was doing something weird in his line.
Well, he's one of truly under pursuit of the identical Peugeots there. I'll be honest, do you play GT Sport, Roo? Because I'm kind of getting to know you on stream as well here.
Bullied me into it.
Good on him, good on him.
And so I play using my controller, which I don't use it with the clickety-clackety buttons like Hugh does sometimes. When he's using his controller, you can hear tick, 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 tick like this. This is annoying. I use it as a steering wheel, so I use the motion detector. And it's okay, I have a bit of fun. I mostly enjoy silly sounding cars doing stupid things on tracks that I'm not good at. That's always fun. So yes, carry on.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because I was wondering whether you've had a personal experience with the Peugeot, because I've driven it and I'm not a fan of FF cars in general, and I'm not really a fan of the Peugeot, but I do know that it is actually one of the most popular choices for aliens for the FF cars. Don't know what you think about that.
Well, I've watched Hugh drive it quite a lot in various races on his streams, because I'm one of the what's that word? I've got a blue spanner, one of them moderators on his channel. On the comedy sidekick, Rich is the one that tries to feed me the line, "Have we got a Discord?" which I always miss. So I've watched quite a few of his streams, and he finds it quite a nice neutral balancing car, especially if it's all-wheel drive. I've seen him in other things like a Clio, where he would enter a corner and just power understeer straight off. So it's a lot better than that.
Yeah.
As front-wheel drive cars go, I think he finds it quite acceptable, but not so quick in a straight line, perhaps. Whereas I think the Scirocco tends to be a bit quicker in a straight line. Not a bad handling car either.
Yes, I think you're right.
I've not driven it myself yet. What front-wheel drive cars have I driven? I've driven a Mini. I took a Mini, souped up a bit around the Nürburgring a few times. That was the last.
Very nice.
Yeah, what it is, I like the Nordschleife because.
Oh, Dyko's just hit the wall route. So I think
carry on.
3 and 4 will get back, but I think P3 might get a run because they're now on the longest section, the longest straight section. So I'm just going to jump on board with the 66 Volkswagen and see whether the pack can actually hunt him down. We've got a pack of Peugeots in the rear.
He's got a 3-second penalty as well. The weird thing about the penalties on this is that it said 3 seconds a second ago, and now it says 2.2. So I'm completely confused. That will have to be something that the manager will have to sort out or explains to me.
So he's got a 2.2 second penalty. So we're just coming. Yeah, they've definitely caught up. They've made up some serious time there. They're now right behind him. Look, they've got up to a few seconds.
I don't understand how that works. Well, when I first saw the penalty, it said 3 seconds. Then it said 2.2. It went round the hairpin there, and it counted down to 1.1.
Yes. So with these type of penalties, you how do you say the word? You I don't know the word.
Spread over parts of the lap.
Yeah,
the penalty has been burnt down. The penalty has been burnt down as you slow down and as you're off the accelerator.
Yes.
Okay. So it's like a progressive penalty as you go along. That makes sense. That's great. It's less.
That's it. The magical fairy is in and out. I need one in my life. I need one in my life. It's like having Google, isn't it?
Very magical. I wouldn't dare call him fairy. I would call him a pixie.
Oh, Moomin, so lucky not to just clip the wall on the exit of the chicane there. I think he's going to have lost a bit of a run unless they can stay in the slipstream of Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
He's got a 1.2 second penalty now as well. So
yeah, so you've kind of got to choose when to come off the accelerator. Is kind of what I was trying to process my brain trying to say there. So we've also got Moomin with a 1.2 second penalty. So every time you're sort of letting go of the accelerator, it takes about a tenth of a second for it to register, and then you every tenth yeah. So ideally, Moomin wants to be catching up to the pack and then taking off his penalty, coming off the accelerator, because at least he'll still be in slipstream range, and therefore he's not going to, lose too much time or position. Because we've got a fight for P2 here. Look at this.
0.2 of a second. That's superb. But there's only 0.3 of a second back.
0.2, 0.3, 0.3. This is incredible.
Now
and we've only got 6 minutes left.
We've got 6 minutes left. Before we go any further, I'd just like to give a shout out to Falconer New Zealand NZ, all the way back in 6th, who's good 8 seconds back from Moomin. He's doing a great job. You know, he's kept going. He's not giving up. There's been no rage quitting in this, because they're all staunch, totally committed nut jobs who like to drive these things. So you keep you going, Cat. You're doing a fantastic job. Let's have a look at him going round. Oh, okay. Well, that's the commentator's curse. He's just went into the chicane, completely missed the first apex, and just launched himself off the big curb on the other side. So shut up, Andrew, and let's talk about somebody else before we ruin the rest of his little race. Oh, Moomin has got ahead of cars somehow.
It was just through the chicane. I had it on stream. It all unfolded, but yeah, Hugh had an incredible line, so he's took a few tenths there, nearly a second in front now of Cars is chasing Moomin, an interval of a 1:1:14, and now P1 of
Mikey, the black
GLR
car.
Mikey is 26 seconds. I think he needs to be in the other split.
Now,
he's running a solid race.
We've had Jack Baldwin Racing, asking who is in the black car. What is Mikey? Do we know who Mikey is? Is he someone known to the community that we can give a shout out to? Or
yep. So again, Mikey got me involved with Hugh Patrick. Mikey is involved in Guinness Lounge Racing, who are the first esports series that I actually got involved in.
Mike.
Yeah. He drinks Guinness. He loves Guinness, and
I'm trying to think of his moniker. I know he is. Oh, Richie, what's his moniker on the YouTube channel, please? Because we're always chatting with him.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Mikey, who's in first position on YouTube. What's his handle? What does he go by on YouTube?
I don't actually know. know.
Right. Well, I'd like to apologise to 52 Marky, because I do know who he is, but my brain is doing what it does best and not responding. It's gone on holiday and decided it.
I'm pretty sure it's just GLR Mike _ Mikey, to be honest.
It probably is. Just if somebody could just hit me. Ow! There you go. Thank you very much. And we'll carry on.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a little look at what we've got. We've got 66. Yes. So I've just put that on. We've got the 66 still with half a second penalty left to serve. We've got Hugh Hattrick in P3 with just over 3.5 minutes left to go. No penalty left to serve, so realistically he should be in P2 soon. And it looks like he's going side by side. Maybe Daiko should probably take that penalty now. I'm just going to stay on board with these two actually, because Hugh Hattrick is most certainly putting pressure on the orange and black Volkswagen Sirocco as he goes defensive. So Hugh Hattrick takes the racing line. Can he get a better run over the bridge?
Oh, yes!
Indeed.
Superb move there, superb. Unfortunately, Diakabub understeered out to the wall, didn't he?
To serve as well. Yes.
Yes.
Daiko and Kaz just missing the wall there, and just clipping the wall on the exit. It looks like we have a pretty good fight going on. Yep, so we've got Kaz who's just touched the wall, and that's now given Moomin the extra advantage in horsepower, and given him the position. And now, Daiko with a 1.8 penalty.
Moomin's
So that
2.3
means
now
that,
as well, so...
Oh no! So that means that Kaz is going to take P3.
He just had a big moment where he slapped the wall and ended up with a bit of a fishtail there. No tank slappers here. No tank slappers here. Diakabub agrees with me because he's also a biker. Tank slappers. And it's the front wheel, not the back. So there you go. Anyway, well, it's traditional for me to moan about this. Oh no, Moomin's got 3.6 seconds now. So unfortunate. So, fish slapper. Okay, I'd like a big shout out to Apolitical Mind, who, as many people know, is John Southern, the other co-host of the Car Sim and Race Drive show. It was dear, he's fish slapper. We have used fish slapper in the past because we like that.
Mikey is now on his last lap. He's just started his final lap.
Mikey is on his last lap. Well, I'm just on board with the 66. The fight for P3, and yeah, all cars have made the chicane. We've got the two Peugeots chasing down Dyko, but I believe he has a penalty to serve of 1.2, and no penalty for
cars, no, but 3.6 second penalty.
3.6. Oh
For
no.
Moomin.
Yeah, and
Obviously
that
been caught
could
smoking
mean
something he shouldn't.
that Mr. Falconer, the legend from New Zealand, could most certainly be in with a position here if indeed they need to slow down in
22
time.
seconds behind, so I'm probably not. I would predict not. This is 22.6 seconds behind. I mean, you know, it may happen. Never say never.
Oh, Dyko is now he's lost a few positions there. Falconer now in chasing at the 66 Volkswagen down as Dyko now hunts Moomin in the beautifully coloured Peugeot RCZ.
The blancmange. Let's call it the flying blancmange.
Oh, the blancmange has just touched the wall there as well. Pressure's most certainly getting to all drivers as they over the bridge and down into the section. It's all kicking off, Roo.
Dyko just, oh wow, he was scraping. He's got no paint left on that side. He was scraping all around that around that sort of long right hand bend. And of course, Moomin's just had to serve a little bit of his penalty there, so he's way down now. So he's got another 2.3 left to serve on it. So, oh, that's such a shame. He was doing so well, but what a great race! What a great race! And let's see, is it going to be possible for Falconer to cross the line before he's timed out? I think so. Should be okay. He's 20 seconds behind now.
We believe in you, Falconer.
Come on,
There
you can do
he
it.
is.
Finish the race.
Yeah!
Oh, showing off on the line, absolutely.
Giving the viewers what they want. That's what I like to see. Give that man a cookie.
What a great race. What a great race.
That was an incredible race, and it's time to congratulate the number 45 Volkswagen Sirocco that is GLR Mikey, taking a pole position and fastest lap there.
That's excellent. Mikey was slightly dominant, just a bit. Mr. Hattrick in second place, making up for his first lap, which, I mean, I don't see a problem with his first lap because he's so entertaining. You know, the only thing I regret is we couldn't hear him say things that he says. He doesn't swear. I've got to be fair to Hugh. He never really swears, but he has his set phrases. Actually, I blanked on. I can't think of them. So there you go. What a great commentator I am.
It's a pleasure.
You got Murray Walker, who's 150,000 years old when he retired, and he was still better able to keep up what was going on than I am. Never mind.
Yeah, that was that really was an absolute pleasure to commentate over, and it was a pleasure commentating with you, Roo, and I'm most certainly looking forward to the next split because these are the faster runner times, if I'm right in saying so.
Ah, okay. All right,
so
then.
we've got
Fair
some,
enough.
we've got the fast boys there, but I think Mike is most certainly in shot for running with the fast lads. But nevertheless,
yes.
what a fantastic race he has run.
I've just been reminded by Mr. Hattrick on the chat that his preferred phrase is, of course, "Oh, come on!" That's what he says. "Oh, come on! I'm from the Bontas, I'll have you." So, yeah, that's what he says. Apparently he had I missed it because he wants to look at a KFC car anyway. I was far more interested in blancmange. That he had an amazing double overtake about 3 or 4 laps from the end. Of course he did, Hugh. We believe. You
You
came
know
second
what I
anyway.
didn't do? Do you know what I've just
What didn't you
realised
do?
I didn't do the replays. I forgot I had a replay option. I'm going to do that in the next
Oh,
race.
you can do a replay. You can find his laps from the end, and then he will stop crying. I think it'd be quite nice to see Falconer's crash of the day, which is where I gave him the curse. The commentator's curse. We're obviously real commentators.
It's a thing, mate. Commentators' curse is a real thing. It exists.
It's a real thing.
And it hurts people. It makes people cry.
He was saying that he did the overtake at the chicane of death.
Yeah.
Of course I missed it.
The amount of times I've been commentating on someone and they mess up, and I'm like, I really hope you're not watching my stream, because it's so off-putting when someone starts talking about you. So who have we got in split 1 then? I think I've been sent the information from HHTCR's Magical Fairy. I'll have another look.
I'm just staying away from any possibility of racially stereotyping him, because he would be upset with that one. See, I don't mind taking the mick out of him. I really don't. I don't mind, generally poking. What? I'm saying I'm not. What?
I've opened up a new Discord chat with us, between the three of us, and the split 1 and split 2 are in there if you see them.
I appreciate that, thank you, that's what I needed. Okay, no, so
he's very good. For all that I'm horrible to him, which he thoroughly deserves, he's very good.
He is a well-worthy magical fairy, but he's given me the Tokyo South Outer Loop split 1 grid. Now, position 1, we have we'll say position 1. This is obviously the qualifying times that we've ran over the course of the past few weeks, getting drivers to put a qualifying time down, and we have Captain Muffin 88 with a 1:39.1. So these dudes are literally 1.5 to 2.5 seconds per lap quicker.
That kind of puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's kind of what Mikey was running as well. So, again, big shout out to Mikey, but nevertheless...
Mikey was a 1:42.86, according to this.
Right. Well, we've got VQS Jack in now the lobby, and he's qualified with a 1:39.342. Podium P3 is Scotty with a 1:39.432. So 1:39.16, 1:39.34, 1:39.42. And GLR JD 1:39.46, GLR Seal 1:39.9, and Mountain Goat with a 1:40.2, and GLR Racer 1:40.2. This is going to be close. They're all running some serious times, so I'm excited for this one.
What will be interesting to me is the thing that Mikey had really was that he was quick, but he was consistently fast. And of course, he had the advantage that he got a good launch off the line, so he immediately put a little bit of a gap, so he wasn't having to defend against anybody or anything like that. But still, very consistent times, very consistent.
Absolutely, it needs to be commended. But nevertheless, we are waiting for the rest of the drivers to line up in the pits. We've got Titanium, GLR JD, VQS Jack. Okay, so just the 3, and we're waiting for 4 more. So we're waiting for GLR Racer, Dougie the Legend. GLR JD is here. We're waiting for Mountain Goat. We're waiting for Scotty and Captain Muff with a 1:39.164.
While we're waiting on them, if you go into at the very bottom where it says driving options, if you go to then the very bottom to detailed settings, and the second one down should be display driver names.
Legend.
You're welcome.
Is this in the spectate thing, is it?
Yes, it goes to
that's just for the live stream that's going on, yes.
Yeah.
Marvellous. So I've just gone back in.
But you're probably worth doing it for yourself as well, though, because it'll give you the driver names instead of just the car names.
So in the spectator options, was it in spectator options? Because I've already played with those.
Yeah, so if you back out of spectator,
No,
go to driver.
it's driver options on the main menu.
Driver
The
options,
little
of course,
the
yes.
cog driver options, and then down to the very bottom of that is detail settings.
Detail settings.
Second one down.
Driver names.
Display driver names.
Display driver names. Marvelous.
Perfect.
Yes, the magical fairy is king of saying things. Very good.
Okie doke.
Honestly,
So
you need to set up another thing, Richie. King of saying things.
we've got the number 55, Neil the Seal, joined us, and also GLR's Dougie, GLR Racer,
GLR
has
JD, is it?
joined us. So it looks as though we are beginning to get this grid lined up. No, we're not. We've only got 3 in.
There's only 3 people currently. One's in the pits.
Oh, they need to enter. Okay, they need to enter.
And the weird thing is that I can change my camera angle so I'm in car with them and this kind of stuff when I'm spectating in the practice, but I couldn't do that in the race. Oh, Scotty going through the chicane like a madman. But he does that because he's driving a pink car in his special basement. That's what it is. If you saw the stream the other day with Jess and Scotty in a hat, though he didn't wear a onesie, I was really upset. There was no pink curlers, there was no onesie, and it's just, what are you going to do? Come on, Scotty. Get your pink curlers in. I mean, Jess, it's one of you, pink curlers. Anyway, in the background he had his rig, which was dolled up brilliantly as a racing, it was effectively, I forgot what they're called, Racing Point.
Yeah.
You know, that pink, it really was.
Okay, okay.
Nothing wrong with pink as long as you got dark glasses to put up with it.
Pink used to be the colour of masculinity back in Victorian times.
And for golfers in the 80s.
That's true, yes, that's very true.
I had a pink golfing shirt when I was in the 80s. Obviously, I was never in the 80s because I'm only 28. But other than that, I did.
I'm curious, Roo.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Do you know what animal a drill is?
A drill?
Yes.
That rings a bell. A drill? Is it a kind of insect that burrows into wood?
It's a monkey. It's one of these weird little...
a mandrill. So it's just a shortening of mandrill. I know what they are.
Mandrill,
And not just because I've seen Jumanji 2.
Oh, we've got Mr. Neil the Seal in the 55, beautifully liveried up Audi Group 4.
Oh, that's an Audi TT.
Yes,
Wow.
in the beautiful gold and black.
Gold.
And also showing love to his Guinness Lounge racing team. It's good to see these guys like Dougie, Seal, Mikey, GLR JD, because again, I know them all and I've been commentating for them all for a while, and there's 3 or 4 of them that actually race in my own series, which will be, we've got round 5 out of 6 tomorrow actually at Brands Hatch for a 90-minute race with VQS Holman actually currently leading the championship for in the Seto Corsa, and yeah, Neil the Seal is racing in there, and again Seal's racing from Australia. So what time are we on now? It's nearly 10 o'clock, so it's coming up to maybe 7 o'clock now, but 8 o'clock for me is when we start my streams, and that's 5 in the morning for him.
Is it 9 hours ahead? 8 to 9 hours ahead?
9, yeah.
Another large country filled with sand and very strange kookaburras and spiders. I had a friend that grew up in Sydney, and she was telling me she used to play with funnel webs in the back garden, taunting them, and I'm like, she is nuts. She's an Australian woman, they're all nuts. I love them. I think they're amazing because they're just pant-wetting and crazy, honestly. There's nothing like an Australian woman to wake you up in the morning by slapping you around the face and saying, "Get up!"
Well, I told Neil, I'd say I'm quite close to Neil. I've got a lot of time for him, if I'm honest. He's a lovely bloke, and I told him, because my partner's been to Australia, she's worked at Steve Irwin Zoo and all that sort of stuff, and I've told, we was having a conversation with Neil, and I said, I'm not coming to Australia, and he said, why? And I said, because I don't want to die.
Yes. It's funny you're talking about Steve Irwin. I was never a fan of Steve Irwin because he was all a little bit too excitable. Oh my goodness, a stick! You know, that kind of stuff.
Well,
I prefer.
Millions.
He made him millions, but the thing is that the true daddy of Australian wildlife is a fellow called Rob Breddle.
Okay.
Who was known as Rob Breddle. Type him in. He had his own program called Killer Instinct, and his dad set up with him and his brother the world's first crocodile sanctuary in the North Territory, and he's literally Crocodile Dundee. He's friends with the Aborigines. He walks around barefoot, and he's called the Barefoot Bushman.
Right.
Big beard, and he's also known as the Animal Whisperer. And he just tells you stuff. That's what I like. I like people that just tell you stuff, no sort of fakery, no sort of really loud, "Ooh," which I know, ironic for me talking, but he just tells you a ton of stuff. And my favourite one I saw, there was one where he was debunking myths of crocodiles, you know, like they can gallop as fast as a horse. You know, you've got a 500 kilo croc, 22 foot long in front of you, then galloping nowhere, the legs are on the side, you know, it's not happening. But there was that one. But he had one where he used to go through the bush and find things and tell you about them. And he found a kind of python. He's lying next to it. He goes, I want to tell you about this. This is called Breddle's python because it's named after my dad. His dad discovered it. He's like, yeah, there's some serious history to this fella. Really good. Yeah, and watching him put a pair of tights on to protect him from big box jellyfish stings was just something else. He's just like, this guy knows stuff and doesn't care. I like him.
So we've got a
back to racing.
Political mind saying
Apolitical mind, yes.
KFC gave me hallucinations after a mega bucket.
That's John Sutherland. That's the other long-time friend of you and captain. He's the real racing driver. If you ever watch his channel, they talk about the real racing driver. Mr. John there has a real racing license and he got his racing license in the same session as K-Mag from Formula One, Kevin Magnussen, some years ago. So yeah, a real racing driver.
I would love to do this for real. Where I have my studio opposite me, there's a guy who has got his own little premises, but he stores his BMW M3, like one of the older ones, but he races in you've probably heard of it, it's I can't remember the blooming name, it's like Motorsport 150 or something like that. Anyway, it's part of that, and he raced at Donington not long ago. He goes to the race weekends, and I said, how much does this actually cost you then? Because I want to get into it. I don't mind blowing my money on this. You know, you only live once, and it feels amazing. But I said, how much is this costing you? And he said, well, before everything else, like your car, your premises, your food, your petrol to get there, your everything else, it's about 500 quid a weekend, and then you've got everything else on top. So it's 500 quid to go race per weekend. Yeah. That's before anything breaks. That's before you bought your new set of tyres. That's before you refueled it. You know, and then you've got to pay for your premises, which is probably going to be 500 quid a month. You're totally talking nearly £2 grand a month, aren't you?
Oh, and then that's without actually turning a wheel. Because you've got to pay for your tyres and all that kind of stuff. But what if somebody bumps into you? You'll fix your car. Time. I years and years ago, I knew a fella that was from the Llŷn Peninsula, which isn't the Llŷn Peninsula. Not hard, you know. Welsh isn't that hard. Anyway, and I'm English, I'm really. And he was a fella called Meredith, and he was the milkman that delivered things to a petrol station I worked in at the time. And he was a rally driver, and then he gave it up, but not because of the money, though it cost a lot. It was time. He didn't have any time to do anything else. because of every weekend you go rallying, and the rest of the time you're trying to fix your car up and make sure it's running properly.
Yes.
And then you've got to get there. So yeah, it's a hard life.
You've got to want to do it, haven't you? It's amazing fun, but it's also a massive hole in your wallet, which you could have done a lot of other things with.
Out of all the potential racing drivers in the world, how many of them are at the top? You know, no matter how good you are, unless you are lucky to get sponsorship and all this kind of stuff, and from other people, you're never going to be at the top. And so you've got to do it for the love. You've got to. You've got to enjoy the racing, because it'll never be enough validation, because you'll never win as such.
I can't remember the name of the GT3, the Intelligent Money British GT3, GT4 commentators, but I'm really getting back into that. But anyway,
I really like them, because John Watson jumps in with them sometimes, doesn't he?
Yes.
My favourite one is the one that used to do BTCC as well, and I looked his name up the other day and I've forgotten already. He's my favourite commentator.
Yeah, I can't remember the names, but he said in I think it was while they were at Snetterton, he said there's two things that go side by side with racing drivers. It's racing and money, cars and money. No driver.
David Addison.
They've got money, and they know they need it.
Which is why I think a lot of this sort of idea of getting, equality in racing, and it's like, because even Lewis Hamilton, I mean, I totally respect that his dad had 3 jobs to pay for it and this kind of stuff. So he was certainly at the low end of things, but he wasn't from a council estate. He wasn't from a poor background. He was from a relatively affluent middle class background. And then his dad had to work his guts off in that arena to make enough money. And then Lewis had to be good enough to be noticed, and also determined enough to get himself noticed. That all had to add up together. For most, and I'm not talking about the billionaire sons like in that buy teams, Aston Martin, or pay for Williams, Latifi. I'm not talking about them, or buy Haas nearly. Mr. Marzipan. I mean, come on. Anyway, I'm not talking about them, but the rest. I mean, Perez brings something like 45 million to a team. So in a way, the only reason he's driving is that he's fast and brings a bunch of money to his team.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the Red Bull case, they don't necessarily need that money, but with the other teams like Racing Point, Force India, absolutely. So it's money. Always an advantage. You've got to have the backing. You've got to have the cash.
Big bucks.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that necessarily. It would be nice, because it was once. Britain used to be very good for having cheaper, fun forms of racing. Hill climbs and Formula Ford and all this kind of stuff. And even there used to be, I don't know so much now. I think it's a lot harder now for people to get into racing just to have a lap. And if you're over 10. Because all these Ginetta Junior drivers, they're like 13, 14 years old. They're the old ones at 15. Well, you're getting a bit old now, mate.
Well, that's what I like about the actual Assetto Corsa, the British Intelligent Money Assetto Corsa, because I read up about who founded it and why it started, and it was just for the love of motorsport. It wasn't for, let's do like you say, Formula One, where it's all about generating money. It was just about people wanting to drive and trying to make it look more affordable and giving the option to anyone. And it's more affordable. It's still extremely expensive, but I think like you say, I think, and that's very much what I try and put over in my series for the sim racing. It's not, we all want to compete, and we do when you're on the racetrack, but you've got to enjoy yourself, because that's what we're all doing it for, isn't it?
Yes. It's got to be a laugh. It's got to be fun. It's like watching the Formula One. I don't know what your opinion of this is, but I've got quite strong opinions of this, which not everybody agrees with. And that when they try to artificially create, I've forgotten the word. Like jeopardy. Is the word.
Yeah.
In a Formula One race, and it's like that's not racing. Reverse grids and all this kind of stuff are all very interesting, but what I want to see, what really interests me, is the skill of a team and a driver getting the best out of a car. And when you then go, you find ways to mix it up, as if just the fact that one person overtakes another. You know, the skill we were watching in the first stream, Split 2, was great because they were battling each other without doing anything too stupid. You know, it was fun watching people have that fight, have that battle. You know, but if we'd have just gone, right, we're going to take 10 seconds away from this person. You know, say we'd gone, Mikey, you're too far ahead, you're too dominant. We're going to take 40 seconds away from you and watch you come back through the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been awful. That's kind of what they're trying to do to get a TV audience.
Yeah,
really
it's
into racing.
It's a little bit too marketing wise, isn't it? But
yeah,
here we are for race 2. We've got Split 1, and who have we got leading? We've got Captain Muffin in P1, VQS Jack in P2, and podium P3 Scotty, followed by GLR JD, GLR Seal, Mountain Goat, and GLR Racers. So we're just waiting for these red lights to drop, and then we're going to get that green.
And they're off.
We'll stay on board with P3 as they make their way up to the first corner here at Tokyo Express. We've got the Audi in 4th position of GLR JD. And GLR Seal in the black and gold Audi just behind, side by side, too wide. Taking the left-hand corner.
But they came around the first couple of corners. What Captain Muffin and VQS Jack, who qualified here in 1 and 2, were line astern. They both got a pretty equal jump off the line.
Yeah, onto the heavy braking section.
Battle for the moment for 3rd and 4th, is it not? Scotty and GLR JD. Oh, it's tight. These guys are so close. No one's disappearing down the track, are they?
Absolutely not. And the 13-year-old is in P1. He's got the defensive line. He's saying a no to the P2 of Captain Muff. Only not even a 10th. It's closing down. We're gonna have some side-by-side action here, Roo, as we're coming up to the bridge section of Tokyo Express.
So are we saying VQS Jack is our JJ, Jack Baldwin Racing? Is that who it is?
I believe so. I believe
he's
I'm correct in that. Everyone's catching up.
Quick. Oh, boom! Oh my goodness! Oh no, Jack! Oh, that is such a shame. He was doing so well.
So he's gone from P1 to P7, but there's 28 minutes left. He's got the entire race to now prove that he can actually catch back up and work his way back through the grid. And I'm actually just now going to use my replay.
He is a passionate young 13-year-old, but you know, if you're listening, JJ, you're okay. Just breathe, get your head down, catch up to him, and show your skill here, because we all know how quick you are. And you make Scotty's at the front, but you know, okay, he's got a bit of a gap, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because they're all very quick drivers. And that corner did mix it up a bit, did it not?
It did indeed, and I've just gone through the replay, and we've just seen that all unfold again, so I'm sure Jack's going to appreciate that. But, oh, we've got contact with the Volkswagen Touch and Seal of 55. The Volkswagen of... Jack's already took a position back.
It's just incredible.
So, GLR Dougie was right behind, I believe, the 55 Audi, and Jack obviously stuck it in there and took that position away. Let's see if he can do it again to the 55 Audi, who's just touched the wall there.
Pressure, putting the pressure on, and then you start losing your concentration on the lines you should be taking, and it's so easy to make a mistake. Even I know that.
Dougie's on the inside.
Oh dear, he's fighting. They're fighting 3rd and 4th. Fighting. Sorry, 4th and 5th. Captain Muffin's got a little bit of a gap, but he has got a 0.3 second penalty there.
Out the chicane, okay, and VQS Jack is in the slipstream. He is coming.
He's got a point. He's got a half-second penalty, so that's going to take him back into the grips of Mr. Seal, your friend. Dougie, is it?
Neil the Seal.
Neil the Seal, sorry.
The 55 Audi.
GLRs, you see. These GLRs confusing me.
I think he's putting a lot of pressure on the 55 Audi is VQS Jack, because Seal's touched the wall a couple of times now. He's only given it a love tap, if you will, to the wall, but I think Seal now just wants to get out of VQS's Jack's way and take the position away from Mountain Goat in P4.
Good line coming out there to use the whole track to give himself a good exit. Keep his speed up. It is Jack Baldwin, says on the side, yes. There's another nice bunch of liveries here. None of them are hurting my eyes, which is always good. I like the blues. I'm a fan of your blues and your greys.
God, look at this go. Look how close they are.
The Seal, look at him, out on the outside. And he's passed before the... But Jack's gone up the inside of both of them. Jack's taken 2 spaces. Nearly taken 2. He's alongside. Look at this. Oh, they're coming to the chicane of death again. What's going to happen?
Jack just escaped that by the skin of his teeth, and was a little bit more contact from Mountain and Seal there.
How did he do that?
And he's got a 0.3 second penalty, I believe, from either the touching the wall or that contact with Seal.
Mountain Goat's got the 0.3.
Dougie on the inside.
I think he had that before. Jack's pulling away a little bit.
He was very, very hot going through that chicane. I'm glad that he, because he didn't concede. He was on the outside line, and I think he just missed the wall as he exited the chicane there.
Centimetres, or in old money, inches.
And now Mountain Goat
or
putting
in
pressure
really
on
old money,
Jack.
half a span. You know, people want me to be dead traditional. Half a span, 2 fingers.
So I'm just going to jump back on board with P2. As P2 is only 0.107. I doubt it's even that, if I'm honest. It looks even closer. Well, let's just get the delta up.
0.141. It's kind of, it's 0.1 something. It's under 0.1 now.
Look at this. It's not even a 10.
Captain Muffin, and he's after Scotty. That's Mr. Scott. That's from the Belfast area with his lovely wife Jess, who were on our show a couple of weeks ago now. I've got to confess, I've forgotten to look at the questions in the live chat again. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Moomin and Biakabub are in there, and Mikey, GLR Mikey. Yes, of course, it is. You're right.
It looks like Captain Muffin's got a run, but he's just had to back out again as they're coming up to the first corner here at Tokyo Express with 23 minutes left to go. Is he going to get a better run? He's got a better run, but is he going to make it stick?
Is it me, or did he lose second place to Dougie? Because that's your mate Dougie, isn't it?
Yes.
JD. Yes.
No. Dougie is Dougie is GLR Racer. He's the one with the NOS livery. Oh, both cars just missing P1. Jeez, this is heating up for sure. Well,
Did you
and truly
see
slipstream.
You could not have got a Rizzler between his car and the wall there, but he didn't touch it.
You couldn't even get a digital piece of information there, no.
Oh, a bit or a bite?
There was not even a pixel left.
Wow. But them two fighting has given Scotty a bit of a break.
Sort of. I think that slipstream's brought him back. JD now P3 as they go over the bridge, taking a right-hander. They want to keep that as in as possible. All drivers look like taking the same line. Coming up to the chicane, what's going to happen here? Are all drivers going to make it, or are we going to have any issues?
See how Jack's doing. He's on his own. He still likes taking that first curve a bit. Ooh, boom, doesn't he?
He does indeed.
Goat 13 is back in 5th now, with a slight penalty, 0.1 of a second. Neil the Seal is just behind him.
He's got a good run, it looks like. I'm going to jump on board with Neil and see whether he gets the run here.
Dougie, you see the poor Renault. Bless him. What do you think of that? Does he like Renaults?
I This is incredible racing, Roo. It's absolutely cracking.
While you've got the main screen on those, I'll go and check with the ones ahead.
Yep.
Jack's all on lonesome in 4th still. GLR JD is still at the back of... Oh, Scotty's lost first place to Captain Muffin, so I don't know where that happened, but Captain Muffin somehow got past Scotty Senior, Stephen.
Well, if you can, for a moment, if you can watch the fight for P4 and 5, I'm going to stay on board with the fight for P1 here, because we've got a lot of things changing up front, and if you see any drama, shout me out and I'll quickly press P5 on my keyboard.
Yeah, well, P4 he's all on his own. There's a big gap. There's like a 3.5, nearly 4 second gap back to 5, and then you've got a bit of a gap opening up between 5, 6 and 7, so you carry on, sir.
Happy days. All drivers well and truly safe out of the chicane. Coming up to the penultimate corner here at Tokyo, and over the start finish we have just under 20 minutes of racing left to go. So grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, grab whatever you've got, and enjoy the remaining 19 minutes of the HHTCR Season 1 Round 1 opener.
Now, I've just been having a look at the times here, and you know how impressed we were with Mikey on his one for him to get to the 139s.
Yes.
Well, Captain Muffin 88 is his best lap is now 138.906.
Oh, I think he's going to lose first position to
Scotty. Yes.
Scotty there in the Sirocco.
Yep.
I think we was mentioning earlier as well, we was talking about the FF cars and was going through the differences of the Peugeot and the Volkswagen and the Audi, and I think there's definitely when I've driven them, there's definitely differences between the Audi, and I'd say the Audi perhaps has a touch more handling, touch more aero maybe, and the Volkswagen maybe has, you know, 1 or 2 horsepower more for the balance of performance. I don't know, but you know, it looks like we've got an interesting
it's a little bit more
fight
sort of downforce, a bit more but more drag. Is that what you're saying? But the Scirocco's a bit quicker in a straight line? Is that where you're going with that?
I may be wrong, but obviously leading the race.
Well, they're essentially the same floor pan. You know, the Volkswagen Group use the same money.
That's true, same company, isn't it?
Same company. If you've got the Skodas, they will have the same floor pan as well. If you've got the Octavia, it's the same floor pan as a Golf. All the four-wheel drive Volkswagen Group cars. So Seat's another one. Skoda.
So Mountain Goat's running a lap time of a 140.131. You mentioned Scott is running a 139.296, and Captain Muff, oh, he's got a 140.44, I like the numbers, and he's side by side with Scotty, not quite able to make that stick though on the way out of the chicane there. JLR JD still well and truly in a comfortable, I'll say a comfortable podium position, but look who we've got in P4.
He's been in P4 for a while, and he seems to he's got
they're side by side in the tunnel, and JLR JD has fallen back, so we've got a fight for P1 here. Scotty in the rear of the Audi, driven by Captain Muff, and down they go up to the chicane. Can they both make it stick here?
Oh, Captain Muff, I like that.
Oh my god, I hate it every time I see them go through that. Captain Muff was able to keep the Audi under control as he hit both sausages, I believe there. I'm going to jump back on board with VQS Jack, and what interval have we got? We've got he's 2.2 seconds behind P3 of
he's made up a second
GLR JD. What's this guy on?
He's on youth.
He's on Youth
and
yeah.
Pepsi. Youth and Pepsi, that's what it is.
Youth and Pepsi, well.
That's what I'm saying. Mars bars. Youth and anger against old people.
I'm definitely going to be asking him for some advice and tips, as I do know VQS Holman, who races with the GLR boys, and he races in my TM Cup tomorrow's at 8 PM. He's seriously fast, also winning the race, and we've got a VQS Jack driving in GT Sports, and he's seemed to show some serious pace. And I do know that VQS Holman is currently the 6th fastest GT Sports driver in North America currently, for the Toyota Cup that they're doing.
Well, the race for the lead is still very much on. They've got less than a tenth of a second between them. Captain Muffin is, he tried to go around the outside, going over the flyover bend at the end of the lap. I think it's the end of the lap, is it not? No. Oof. Squirrely rear end.
So let's have a little look then. I'm on board now with the Audi in P2 chasing down P1. I'm going to see whether the slipstream comes into effect or whether the Volkswagen can pull away. It looks like the Audi is indeed pulling him back. Can he get side by side? The Volkswagen is going to go defensive. No, he's going to take that line. Is he going to? Nope. He's backed out. He's going to keep on with the racing line, maximise track widths as they continue to make their way through Tokyo Express with only 14.5 minutes left to go.
This is so close. I mean, so how long have these two guys been racing like this now? How long has the session been going on?
Just over 15 minutes.
15 minutes of mad 140 mile an hour electronic racing. On the straights. I took that corner at about 40, according to my display here, coming out, accelerating slightly downhill towards the flyover bend, as I've decided to call it.
That works.
Well, it's a flyover.
And it's
we could call it the wall of death because they keep using it like one.
Well, that's it. We can call it whatever we want, really.
Wall of death. That sounds good. You've got the chicane of death.
What about? I know who knows the name. The Magical Fairy. Maybe the Magical Fairy will tell us what the name of that corner is.
Oh, Magical Fairy knows these things. Magical Fairy.
We'll go with the flyover. You can call it whatever you guys like, but flyover is fine.
It's the flyover. We've heard from Google.
He obviously likes you more than me.
Every time the Audi, the number 8 Audi of Captain Muff goes through the chicane, he's constantly sideways and is losing exit speed to the longest straight of Tokyo here. It is not even in the slipstream of P1 Scotty right now. But he's still not very far behind, but P3 still in control is GLRJD, but he's still being hunted down by Jack, and I'm just going to check the interval. Now only a 1.975 Rue.
Wow. Well, I've got to say, I am so impressed with Scotty's. I mean, I knew Scotty was a fast driver based on the interview that Hugh did with him some time ago, because we did the interview a couple of weeks ago. Oh, touched the wall there. See, I've got to stop doing this. It's a death again. I was just going to say how consistently quick he is on and soaking up the pressure and maturity of the drive. 12 minutes to go, and he's, is he pulling away, or is he just keeping that gap? Because it's nearly a second now. It's amazing. It's brilliant. So brilliant. I'll read out the times. Okay, so that last lap was 1:39.232. The one before that was a 1:39.024.
Wow.
1:39.767, 1:39.296, 1:39.6, and so on. And it goes on. They're all 1:39s, and they're all within half a second of each other, easily. Just so consistent, so incredibly consistent. So Captain Muffin has a faster time, but his are ranging from a 1:40 and tend to be 1:39.6s for most of the others. So. Wow.
Incredible. Wow. I mean, they're actually talking about these lap times in chat, and I I think what Mikey's just said. Give me a second. Mikey, I got a 140.037. A 140.037 twice in the race, which is fast, but it just goes to show how fast these guys are.
Wouldn't it be nice to know what it is? I think a lot of it's got to do with sort of natural reaction times. I know, and I don't think it's my age, it's just the way I'm built, that if things happen too fast until I get into a routine with things, it just overwhelms me and I can't do it. So it's better for me to start slow and build up. I'd never be able to be one of these guys that can, like, I don't know, a Lewis Hamilton or a Verstappen, jump in the car, you know, your Sennas of the world, and just do a massively fast time straight out of the box. I could never do that.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm not built for it. So these guys are in another league in that respect, I guess. But then, so I actually often wonder when people say, tell me your tips. It's like saying to Senna, what is it you do that makes you better than everybody else? It's like, well, it's not just what you do, it's whether you can do it.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
You know, that's just the way I look at it. So we
No, absolutely.
We've got Diakabub earlier saying how much he hates this track. We've got GLR Mikey saying we've got, come on GLR, get the Guineas flown. It's like, which one? There's three of them in this case.
So Jack's last lap was his personal best with a 139.3 Roo.
Excellent.
And he is catching up. It looks like he is. Oh no, he isn't. He's now a 2.347. So GLRJD is most certainly running a pretty solid and consistent race here. I'll just have a quick look at his lap time, which is 139.668. And he's 3 seconds behind the fight for P1. Well, behind P2, but nevertheless the fight for P1.
I'm wondering whether when Jack reduced that gap to like 2 seconds or just under 2 seconds earlier, I wonder if that was lap 8, because that Dougie, no, it's not Dougie, JD, he did a 141.7 on that lap, so something obviously went on there. It's pretty consistent since.
Well, if you don't mind, Roo, I'm going to stay on board with the front two, because it's the only fight we've really got at the minute. Keep your eyes on Jack for me. Let me know if there's any action I need to look at. But we've most certainly got a fight here. We can see GLR's JD just exited the chicane there in the camera shot with P1 and P2, and now the Audi. They're having a game of ping pong, backwards and forwards all the time. But currently we've got Scotty in P2, driving from sunny old England, and rocking a podium P1 position in the Group 4 Audi TT is Captain Muff.
Not from England, Northern Ireland.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at his badge. So
no, it's fine. No, he's a Belfast lad.
So is Captain Muff from New Zealand?
Is it New Zealand?
We've got a New Zealand flag.
That's an Australian flag, isn't it?
I meant Australian, yeah,
Because don't the stars represent? No, sorry, I'm being nerdy. Don't the stars represent the states?
I believe
within,
so, yeah.
You know, like Queensland, something on those lines, just to prove to our Antipodean cousins that we don't just think of Britain. We do know about the rest of the Commonwealth. Yes, I missed Scotty being overtaken by Captain Muffin. So once again, commentator's curse. I was saying how brilliantly consistent he was, and then he gets overtaken. Good job, Andy.
They are all Australian. The New Zealand flag doesn't have that star under the Union Jack.
Excellent.
I need a magical fairy in my life.
It's like Siri, but nowhere near as annoying. Isn't it?
Okie doke.
You want to swear at Siri, but I don't ever particularly. No, I have to swear in, but not for that reason. Just because.
So the fight for P1 isn't even a second away. Obviously, Scotty needs to be in that window of a 0.750 to capitalise on slipstream, which he now has. It looks like he's able to traverse his way through those corners a little bit better than the Audi. So my comment may be completely and utterly reversed there as they come up to the hardest braking section of Tokyo. Can he get side by side? He needs to get a good run out here. He's most certainly in the slipstream. I think he's going to be side by side as they go under the bridge and enter the right hand corner. Yeah, he's pulling him in.
So close. Through the tunnel.
Oh, he's just bumped him along. It's just giving him a bit of a boost.
Did they touch? Wow. Around the wall of death.
I mean, if anything, that's probably quite a good thing, because it just keeps them two away from P3, you know?
Well, don't they call it a bump draft? Isn't that what they call it?
Yes. Both made that
Audi,
through.
when it goes around through the chicane, it doesn't slow on the heads coming out the last part of it.
So
really
Jack
does.
is a 1.754 behind P3 podium position of the American Guinness Lounge Racing JD, and he is also got a 0.3 of a second penalty to serve. Mountain Goat 11.7.
Actually,
And Jack.
he's reining in. He's made up a second on him, hasn't he? Wow. I'm being told here by Mr. Hattrick on the channel that you and I have to see above. At least, Matt, you're not saying Austin Martin. Austin Martin.
See above. What we're seeing above?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's the problem. I'm trying to work
I'll come
out.
back to that. It looks like we've got a fight between the GLR boys, though, in the Audi and the Renault, the NOS liveried HHTCR energy drink. Oh, he's right a bit wide.
Side by side.
Side by
Golden
side,
and orange.
they go.
That was close. Neil the Seal.
Neil Seal in hot pursuit of GLR Dougie. They both know each other very well. So what we're going to see here, because he is well and truly in slipstream, he's weaving left and right because he's so close. Got to be side by side up here.
Jack is now P3.
What? Oh my good God. Thank you very much for that. The magical fairy, because Jack has had an awful start at the beginning of this 30-minute race. We only have just under 3 minutes left to go. He's still got a 0.2 second penalty left to serve, but he's gapped GLR's JD, who's clearly made a mistake, losing 6 seconds, I believe.
His last lap was a 1:44.7, JD.
Oh.
So something's happened to JD there for him to be able to, you know, have to find your special replay button, sir.
Oh, I keep forgetting about
I think it happened. I think it happened perhaps a little lot too far back.
Okay.
Yeah, it did.
So, just having a quick read of Austin Martin.
Well, the fight for P1 is still well and truly on, as up the bridge they go. The Volkswagen is tucked the inside line, he's side by side, he's in front of the Audi. Can he make it stick, or can the Audi get the cutback? It doesn't look like he's got the run. Let's see what they do here as they go through the chicane. Audi not touching the sausage. He might have the better run here, and he has slipstream, so I'm most certainly expecting the HHTCR liveried Penrite Audi Group 4, driven by Captain Muff from Australia. Can he make anything happen as they come up to the first corner here at Tokyo Express?
Got the draft there, didn't he? Oh, he got a bit hot into that
And we've got a rubber track now as well, so I would assume grip is going to be increasing but also decreasing on tyres. And they are using racing hards, so they don't offer the most grip.
Well, I think Captain Muffin is really pushing now, because we're close to a minute from the end of the race. When he came out of the chicane the last time, the entrance was fine, but when he hit the big curve on the way out, we just lost him a bit of time. The draft brought him back close to him, and then he pushed too hard, going around that other flyover that's not the wall of death. So, he's lost quite a bit of time now. But he was pushing so hard. It's like that desperation, isn't it? I'm so close. I've got to get him by the end.
Well,
superb racing.
It just goes to show that at least he's decided to push on this final lap, you know. Oh, Gila, Neil the Seal is side by side with number 14, Dougie, in the NOS liveried Renault. What are we going to see here? No, he's back in the toe of the Renault. He's going to have to make a move here with only 19 seconds left to go. We've got P1 going through the chicane, followed by Captain Muff, who's lost control. He's just missed to manage, missing the wall there. A 0.1 of a second penalty for P3 VQS Jack, who's run an absolute solid race with an awful start, putting him in last position. A 1.1 second penalty for fourth position GLI JD. Is that a finish? Have they took that home? It is indeed. So Scotty
finished with 2 seconds just before the start of the next lap.
Wow. Captain Muffin P2, only a 0.877. Jack in P3, GLI JD in P4. My favourite position. You've done a solid race, mate. You've obviously been pushing and unfortunately just lost control. But nevertheless, we've got Mountain Goat in P5, running a solid race. And we've still got 55 and 14 side by side, but it looks as though Dougie's took P6 and Neil the Seal has taken P7. So that means that the victory goes to Scotty in the lime green Volkswagen. Congratulations.
That was superb. That was absolutely fantastic. We had a little bit of information from the chat. GLR Mikey was saying that the Audi is better on the straights and the Scirocco is better in the corners.
So it was the other way around.
Good. Well, it made for a good race though, because you've got the Audi catching up on the straights, especially with the draft, and then Scotty was able to just keep position or retain.
Well, this is it, isn't it? It adds another dimension to the racing, because some are a little bit better through the corners, some have got, get a better run, you've got a bit better horsepower. It just adds to that extra, dimension of sort of thinking how you're going to race and people's pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses of driving. But that was brilliant, and I've most certainly enjoyed that, Roo. It's been spot on, and well done to the racers.
Excellent. I mean, this has been quite exciting. I'm very surprised that electronic racing can be as exciting as it has been tonight. And I think we've made some discoveries. We've made discoveries that the French cars are okay, that the Volkswagen-based cars with the right drivers in may be better. We have discovered that gold livery doesn't always get you to the front. And we've discovered that having a magical fairy is better than Siri or Alexa or other things.
Very happy to help you guys. Thank you very much for everything. You guys have been magnificent. Thank you very much.
Mate. So have you, thank you. It's also worth saying two things I'm going to say. First one, I'm just going to say it, and then I'm going to jump straight into the second one. Obviously we know that we had someone else originally set this up, so I just wanted to say a thank you for originally setting this up, because at the end of the day I do think it's worthwhile saying thank you to Kevin, and also Hugh Hattrick has also had to say that he needs to stop because he's got a lump in his throat.
Oh, bless.
So I think tonight's been a success.
It's been a success. I'd like to say that I think you're a superb commentator. It's been a pleasure commentating alongside with you for the first time. Well, second time tonight, but for the first time this evening, it's been great. We've, we'll only get better.
This is it. Are you going to be here next month?
That's the plan.
Okay.
That's the plan. As long as I can not strangulate Sony or and any minute now the fairy's going to say stop whinging. But yeah, I've got me PSN Plus to be able to carry this on, and yeah, I should think so. If you're happy to carry on, I'm happy to carry on.
Most certainly. It's lovely to see some familiar faces on track. It's lovely to be involved with some great people. It's great to be involved in an awesome series. It's amazing to be able to have these spectator options. It's creating for a very engaging experience for the audience, and as I'm seeing 308, 310 comments now flash, it's definitely been a success. So yeah, very grateful, very grateful. I'm going to probably just say my last bit, so if there's anything you want to say, now would be the time.
I think if just to congratulate everyone for doing such a superb job, very clean racing. There was no argy-bargy. Watching Hugh race on his streams and a couple of other people that we know, it's tiring to see people race the way they often do, where they think push to pass isn't a button. You know, and they seem to think death race is the way to go, which is where I get a lot of my comedy and my comments from. But tonight they've been superb, and watching, I mean, Hugh, you know, in a comedy fashion, but he did a great job in coming back to second. And Jack Baldwin did a superb job after his little incident on lap 1 to come back and get third. But everybody did a great job, and a superb set of races between, battles, I should say, between people. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and pretty much everything that you've just said. Congratulations to all the racers. Again, I think collectively, we're here to just have fun. Obviously, we want the rules and it to be competitive, but again, fun is where we're all at, and it's been an absolute pleasure, Roo. I'm just going to say my final pieces and end the stream. So, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, it's going to end the stream there. I appreciate everyone that has been involved in the creation of what this is and has become. It's been a lot of fun. I can't wait for next month for round 2.
Do we want to say when the next race is, or is that
absolutely? Do you know? Is that a
things have not been confirmed? Things have not been confirmed just yet. Please stay tuned and join the Hugh Hattrick Discord, please.
And it's exactly what I was going to say, but not as good.
I didn't mean to step across you, Rue. My apologies.
That was the reason. Okay, I'll put that another way. Thank you for saying that, because I didn't have a clue. That's what I actually meant, but I couldn't
join the Hugh Hattrick Discord, and also join the TMK Discord.
That's exactly it. So just to finish off, thank you very much for watching. Obviously, big shout out to the GLR boys as well. It's great to be